I'm unhappy right now. I'm very, very unhappy right now. I feel unhappy. I feel disgusted. I feel disappointed. All those negative emotions combined into one. Now, you guys probably know that I made a New Year's Eve video for last year, reflecting on 2023, talking about my life and everything. There was one point in that video where I said that when I mentioned all the things going on in the world, including one in particular, and when I talked about that one thing in particular, I immediately said that I'll make a video about that later on and address it. Well, it's been that was 5 months ago, and 5 months is here now, and I haven't even made a video, and the video's not even there yet. You're probably wondering why it took so long to make this video and all that. Well, because around that time I was super busy working on my 2023 highlights and my videos and of my Christmas trip to Wisconsin and so many other videos. And when I was able to have the time to address it, it was at a point where the issue was dying down. Now knowing that this video exists, things seem to have calmed down, but not only as this issue rose again, but it's at its peak. And that involves the Israel-Hamas War. For context about the Israel-Hamas War, let's talk about where it began. It all began on October 7th, 2023, when Hamas, a terrorist organization, launched a surprise attack on southern Israel from the Gaza Strip. After clearing the militants from its territory, the Israeli military embarked on an extensive aerial bombardment of the Gaza Strip, followed by a large-scale ground invasion beginning on October 27. But there's one thing that pretty much led to this. It's like both Israel and Palestine have been into each other's heads for years and decades. This war would be the fifth one since 2008. There was actually a point where Israel was gonna make a peace treaty to end all violence and to end the long years of violence and fighting. It's like they were that close to accepting the peace treaty and finally having peace. But Hamas looked at this. Hamas and other terrorist organizations looked at this and pretty much said, we don't want peace, we want chaos. And then this is pretty much where it began. So knowing about this, Hamas started the war. Hamas made the first attack, and then Israel fought back. So many people were killed, including women and children, which is bad. As of right now, 825 civilians, 680 security forces were killed in Israel, and 10,580 plus were wounded. 252 were captured or abducted, and one was missing. And as of right now, in Palestine, 34,000 Palestinians were killed, with 14,000 being children and 9,000 women. Now, there's definitely a lot of kills over there. I mean, it doesn't really matter to some people who caused the most damage. The main thing is that Hamas started the war. Hamas is the main reason why this war happened. Like, if Hamas didn't come in and cause chaos, this would never happen. And why am I making this context? Well, there are some people siding with Israel and others siding with Palestine, and even Hamas, an organization, terrorist organization that is willing to kill not only Israel, but their own people and use them as human shields. Like, they'll be willing to kill their own people, the innocents, put their bodies up and their skeletons and blame it on Israel, act like Israel's the one responsible for those deaths, when in actuality it's Hamas. And now, knowing that there's different sides, the opinions of people from Israel and people from Palestine kind of make sense. It's like people from Israel supports Israel, Palestine supports Palestine, and Hamas, all that. Like, it's wrong to support Hamas, but of course they have their opinion, and no matter how bad it is, unless we can work hard on it to show them the whole truth, we can't change their mind. But the main reason why this is big is not because of those views, but the views that came in are from outside those countries, specifically the United States. It's like not just people that came from Israel and Palestine to the United States. It's Americans, people who are not from those countries, people who have zero involvement in this conflict, and they want to voice their opinions and get on the bandwagon. And all of those leads to protests. Like, don't get me wrong, protest is a good thing. I mean, it's like, protests are there to voice your opinion and speak out against certain topics. I mean, that's really a good thing there. I mean, it's like you have a strong opinion of something, feel free to say it. If you're on one side, that's fine. If you're on another, that's fine. If you're going out on the street making protests, that's fine. If you're voicing your opinions, that's fine. If you disagree with people, that's fine. But when you start attacking people, saying racist, discriminatory things, and harass people, this is where we need to have the discussion. This is the biggest topic, and this is why. I mean, it's like they're like you think there's the right way and the wrong way to do protests, but believe it or not, there's a right way, there's a wrong way, and there's a stupid way. And the reason why is because not only are there some people that are doing these protests wrong, but they're not educated enough to know the truth, the whole history about what is going on. And these protests are happening everywhere. It's like in the United States and other countries. And there's actually, and it's not just people getting into protests, but they have those protests and try to cancel someone for having an opinion. And they felt the need to attack people, which is wrong. Here are a few examples that I gotta talk about. It's like some of these I found online and the sources. I'll leave the links to those posts on the description below. Of course, I'm not gonna show videos or pictures since it's so violent and it's too much to handle. Like, if you want to find those pictures or videos, go ahead, but it's definitely gonna be violent and uncomfortable. But there are several examples that I got to discuss. Like, one of them happened in November 23rd, 2023, in Hillcrest High School. So it's like everything was going so well in the school, and until a teacher, the name isn't even listed, and thank God it isn't. uh, made a post on October 9th, having a profile pic photo on Facebook showing her at a pro-Israel rally, holding a poster saying, "I stand with Israel." Now, in that post, it was a non-violent protest. It was a peaceful protest. Like, it was a protest done right. Like, it's like, if she supports Israel, she supports Israel. If she wants to stand up to Israel, she could stand up to Israel. I mean, it's her opinion, her choice. But a simple thing as that have angered the kids inside the school so bad. It's so bad that they were willing to do everything to get the teacher fired. Right here is a example of a protest going wrong. It's like instead of going to school and doing their work, they decided to make a riot on Hillcrest High School. Like, hundreds of kids have flooded into the hallways and ran amok, chanting, jumping, shouting, and waving Palestinian flags or banners. And many tried to barge into the teacher's classroom despite school staffers blocking their entry. Like, everyone was yelling, "Free Palestine!" And the teacher needs to go. Seriously, you want her fired because she has an opinion? It's like they clearly want her fired. And it's so bad that the police had to get involved. Like, so it's like at 11:20 a.m. They made it just in time to rush the teacher safely into an office and lock the door. Like the teacher literally had to lock herself in the office to avoid the mob, and then she couldn't leave until the mob ended. It's like students were coordinated, post videos, showed some Arabian music on TikTok, everything. It's like most of the comments posted on the video applauded the kids and jeered the teacher, one calling her a. The teacher was white. So yeah, not only were they attacking the teacher and harassing her, but they said racist and discriminatory things, all because she stood with Israel. It's like a water fountain was ripped out in the hallway and shattered tiles in the second floor boys' bathroom, which students admitted they vandalized. Like, really? You gotta willing to destroy a school in order to get someone fired? It's like the NYPD not only sent a couple of dozen of cops to restore order, but taped its counterterrorism bureau to investigate a possible threat against the school. Like, after that, the teacher made a statement saying, "I have been a teacher for 23 years in the New York City public school system. For the last 7 at Hillcrest High School, I have worked hard to be supportive of our entire student body and an advocate for our community and was shaken to my core by the calls to violence against me that occurred online and outside my classroom last week. No one should ever feel unsafe at school, students and teachers alike. It's my hope in the days ahead we can find a way to have meaningful discussions about challenging topics with respect for each other's diverse perspectives and shared humanity. Unless we can learn to see each other as people, we will never be able to create a safe learning community. And she is right. I agree. And it's like all of this because she has an opinion, all because she supports Israel. Yeah, and there was even a kid that posted a picture of the broken sink and said, "Point of view, your school had one lockdown, multiple fights and riots just because of a teacher that chose to wake up one day and choose support against Zionism and occupation." Really? She didn't support against Zionism. It's like, let me look, they clearly doesn't know what Zionism is. Zionism is a nationalist movement that emerged in Europe in the late 19th century, aiming for the establishment of homeland for the Jewish people, particularly in Palestine, a region roughly corresponding to the land of Israel in Jewish tradition. Following the establishment of the State of Israel, Zionism became an ideology that supports the development and protection of Israel as a Jewish state. It also has been described as Israel's national or state ideology. This movement supports the state of Israel and homeland for the Jewish people in Palestine. The teacher didn't do anything that shows against Zionism. It's like you attacking this teacher for supporting Israel is Zionism. Of course, the riot would end, and the cops escorted the teacher safely out of the building. It's like there were comments about the TikToks that applauded the students, with one saying, "Zionists shouldn't be teaching anybody." Why not? Why can it not be taught? It's like there's nothing wrong with that. Like, they don't need to be around children either. They clearly like to. Why would the teacher want to bomb their kids? Like, why? Then we got another comment saying, "You ain't entering New York City school with that hate. Drag that basic." She didn't hate at all. She was on a protest supporting Israel. She wasn't teaching hate to the school. And not only that, but the kids followed and spit on her. But if you think that was the end of it, it gets worse, because the kids found out where she lives, her address, her phone number, her family, her personal information, everything. Like, some of them already called her on a private phone and say some bad things. So they were harassing her at school. They were harassing her outside of school. It's like the chaos and lockdown, which sources lasted roughly 2 hours, was one of the most frightening incidents of anti-Semitism in New York schools and colleges since the Hamas massacre. Well, it would be true in the case, but of course there'll be more. But this is just there were during that. There were Brooklyn students that were captured on the video yelling, "Screw the Jews." That is definitely racism. It's like, what do Jewish people do to you? And it was that bad that an 18-year-old student was arrested for making threats over a group chat, and he was charged with aggravated harassment. Like, I'm not surprised about that. Like, of course you're gonna get arrested for harassing someone and trying to ruin their life and get them fired just because they have an opinion. One of the staff general said that the Israel-Gaza war gave kids a convenient excuse to act out. It's definitely not wrong there. It's like it's a sad commentary on the rancid hate that exists within the hearts of students for Jews. It definitely is very sad, and it shouldn't have happened to begin with. And then Councilman Robert Holden of Queens said, "I don't know why these students are so misinformed, so intolerant, and so radicalized. They don't even know the history of the Middle East. They haven't been taught that." I definitely agree. I mean, it's like when I was in school, I was taught many things about the world. Like, I had global history, and then I had history classes in college, and we talked about the history of the Middle East. Like, it was so bad that the students were spreading rumors that the teacher was abusing Muslims, and I thought it was okay that children were being killed in Palestine. Obviously, those accusations were 100% false, but still, really, seriously, like, it's like you're gonna accuse the teacher of abusing Muslims while also abuse the teacher for supporting Israel. And there's no way that she taught the kids that it was okay that people were being killed. Like, if she taught the kids that it's okay to have people get killed, you think the school would have her remain in this school? No. It would be reported and she would get fired. But she didn't. So she did not. She would never teach the school that it was okay to have children be killed. If she was talking about people being killed, it's something that happened in the past. She was telling us historical context of what happened. And I'm certain she would say that it's wrong. And she'd be right. And then at least 3 students who organized the riot faced superintendent suspensions. I mean, those kids should not only get suspended, they should be expelled. Because if they're going to cause this problem of one school, what's going to stop them from doing the same to any other school? While knowing this, Mayor Eric Adams denounced the vile incident and said that the vile show of anti-Semitism at Hillcrest High School was motivated by ignorance-fueled hatred. Plain and simple, and it will not be tolerated in any of our schools, let alone anywhere else in our city. We are better than this. Indeed, we should be better than this. And then the Chancellor, David Banks, had a meeting and said, "We have our whole team working very closely with the students and the teachers at the school. But what's happening in the Middle East has gotten a lot of emotions from a lot of people. We're still figuring out what's going on." And then the City Department of Education said, "We are aware of the completely unacceptable incident that occurred at Hillcrest High School last week, and our safety team is actively collaborating with the superintendent and principal to fully investigate the matter and protect the safety of both students and staff. No form of hate, whether it be anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, or other form of bigotry, will be tolerated in our schools." Seriously, for that teacher that dealt with harassment and all that stuff, I am so sorry. I seriously hope you're safe. I hope you continue to teach in school. And I hope you're able to move on from this and continue living your normal life as a teacher. There was another incident at a school where, like, I forgot, like, I couldn't find the video of it. Like, the video I saw was back around 2023. But there was one instance that a college student who was pro-Palestine went and harassed a pro-Israel student, and acted like the Israel student supports genocide, which is saying much, since Palestine has Hamas, a terrorist organization that's willing to commit genocide. And then she said some stupid things like Jewish people are Nazis. Like, seriously? I'm not saying this just because I work for the DOE, but let me educate that girl on TikTok. Like, Jewish people are not Nazis. The Nazis are the people that joined a group in Germany led by Adolf Hitler. The Nazis are the ones that killed and slaughtered thousands of Jewish people and tortured them in concentration camps during World War II. And of course, after posting that TikTok video, well, that student either got suspended or expelled from college. Like, of course you're gonna get suspended or expelled for this. It's like it's wrong to have hate speech and racism and harassment, especially against an innocent person in a protest. Now, of course, there are a lot of colleges that had this happen. One of them being Queens College. Like, if you've been following my channel since the beginning or know me personally, I graduated from Queens College. So knowing that these protests and violence is happening on one of my schools, it's sickening. So that could happen in October 2023, when they had protests where the kids wrote, "Screw Israel and American government," and "Jews suck," were written on a wall on campus. And then in November, an individual reportedly approached Jewish students at a pro-Israel rally, which those rallies were peaceful and non-violent, by the way. But that one individual went up to them and said, "Go back to Poland. Go back to Germany. That's where you're from." Like, seriously? You're really telling them to go back to the place where they got killed or tortured? You're pretty much saying that everything that the Nazis did to the Jews were justified. It's like, none of this was justified. It is wrong, and it's disgusting. And there were counter-protesters reported to have disrupted a pro-Israel march by chanting "Khyber Ya Yahud," meaning Khyber, O Jews, a call for violence against Jewish people. Seriously, why you gotta involve Jewish people? It's like, Jewish people have nothing to do with this war. It's Israel versus Hamas, not Judaism versus Hamas, Israel versus Hamas. Now I get that Israel has a lot of Jewish people, but still, not all people in Israel are Jewish. And then now I just discovered that in March 2024, threatening anti-Semitic graffiti was discovered on campus that included the messages, "You better start hiding, Jews," Israelis, I'm coming after you. Hitler, please come back. Teach Jews a lesson. Seriously. It's like, do you know how bad of a person you have to be a supporter of Adolf Hitler? One of the most evil people of all time. The man responsible for killing innocent people, including Jewish people. A man who only wants power and world domination. Of course, a good president, Frank Wu, responded to the graffiti with a statement saying, "Anti-Semitism has absolutely no place on the Queens College campus." Well, he's pretty much right, but not only is anti-Semitism have no place on Queens College, it has no place anywhere. Like, seriously, their parents and their families would not be okay with this. I know they did not teach their kids to be like this. Now, of course, after 2023, things were dying down, but unfortunately, not only it came back up, but it's at its peak. And I believe you know the worst of it all is at Columbia University. Like a few weeks ago, there were Gaza protests at Columbia University. It's like people were pro-Palestine. They were yelling "Free Palestine." They attacked and harassed Jewish people and people who support Israel. And all of that, like they set up their tents and everything. It's like out of all the times to do it, they chose to do this during Passover, which is a Jewish holiday. Like, you have to be a special type of breed to cause problems on a holiday or something special. It's like all of that. It's like there was a Jewish teacher that couldn't go to campus for their own protection. Which isn't right, because how is he supposed to do his job if he can't go to campus? As a result, the campus have ordered the police raid against the students and others that have been affiliated with the protests, which was a raid on the occupied Hamilton Hall. Like, more than 100 arrests were made. But what's scary about this is that not all of them were Columbia University kids. The majority of those people were people outside of Columbia University that are just coming in and trespassing Columbia University, causing nothing but violence and chaos. Like, the students there said that they were in the dark about plans for their finals and even whether dining services would be brought back fully. It's like Joseph Howley said, "I have students who can't get to their work study to pay for school. I have faculty members with papers they need to grade locked in their offices. I have 16 instructors looking to me for guidance on how to support students through finals and the end of the semester." So it has completely upended everything we do. And that's true. It's like they can't do anything. And of course, the protesters acting like the university was evil and then the cops were evil. They said that the police ambushed them and that they were tackled and beaten, and their hands were handcuffed so tightly that even lifting their pinky caused extreme hard excruciating pain. I mean, there's a specific reason why this happened. because you attacked the police. Like, of course you're gonna get beaten. It's like, if you attacking the police is a felony. Like, if you beat up a police officer, of course they're gonna take action to fight back, to stop the violence. It's like, this is the absolute worst. I seriously bet those protesters are gonna accuse Columbia University and the police for being racist, for being discriminatory. Like, now you're worried about that? Like, you weren't worried about that when you do the exact same thing to innocent people, including Jewish people. Yet you're concerned about it now when someone supposedly was like that to you. It's like the police was ending the chaos. They were doing their job. They did what was absolutely necessary for public safety. And you can't act like they acted tough for no reason. They were tough because the students attacked first. It's like, what is the cop supposed to do? Just take the beating and be down and leave? No. What you're doing is illegal and it's wrong. And they're going to do their job and put you to justice. Like, of course, there are a lot of other examples. It's like, there are other examples. Like another one in City College, and then other states. Like, I could go on and on and on, but you already get the idea. You get the idea that things are getting out of hand. And it's really, really bad. Like, seriously, it just disgusts me. It boggles me how America, society, and intelligence has fallen. And we can't act like the worst is over, because at this point, things are going to get worse. It's like, this is going to keep going. It's only a matter of, it's like, we're going to have another one of those violent protests. It's only a matter of when. Like, seriously, if you're trying to get a teacher fired, trying to ruin the lives of people and make their lives live in hell because of what they are or what they believe, at this point, you are no longer protesting anymore. You are no longer voicing your opinion anymore. You are simply attacking people. And for what? Like in Colombia, they even had the audacity to have mock executions. Mock executions. Teaching people how to kill Jewish people, how to kill Israelis. So, like the demonstrations have those attackers saying racist and discriminatory things. It's like, you really think that the government would allow killing? You think our founding fathers would be okay with this? You think God would be okay with this? Would they? It's like, murder is a crime. And so is violating the peace. And they just don't care. It's like all of this is really bad. And it's like, of course, when all of this first happened, like, I work for the DOE now, since the beginning of the year, and I definitely know that I got an email. So I got an email from the chancellor, and he pretty much told all of us about our shared responsibility to promote values of inclusivity and diversity, and to create safe learning and work environments, and hate and intolerance of any kind of no home in our schools. And when we talk about it, the question can arise as to where the line lies between our responsibilities as public school district employees and our personal lives and views. and that expressions of their personal political views are kept separate from the DOE jobs, and do not give the impression that they're speaking in their official New York City public school capacity or on behalf of the NYCPS. And the school leaders, teachers, and other school staff should not express their personal views about political matters during the school day, while on school grounds, or while working at school events. And it is critical that they set aside their personal views during class discussions about current events. Our job as educators is to expose our students to objective facts and multiple perspectives, allowing them to make their own judgments and grow as independent and critical thinkers. Injecting our own ideologies or political opinions risks shutting down discussions and excluding students who hold different views. Employees should, and we should look at this regulations on what is permitted during the workday, and then they may express their personal views outside of the workday and workplace in a way that does not cause disruption to the school or workplace. As school district employees, and particularly during times like these, we should demonstrate through our actions and speech how to come together, rather than stoke division and bias. When in doubt, choose respect. We must work together to keep our learning and work environment safe, supportive, and free from hate. It's like, this whole email, I 100% agree. He is absolutely right. I mean, it's like nowadays, there are things that you can't talk about at school. This situation is one of them. And it all makes sense if you think about it. Because think about it. If someone from the school talks about it, all hell is gonna break loose. It's like it's gonna affect the kids personally, and there's going to be attacks and violence and everything. And who's gonna be the ones at fault? We are. So now, of course, when we're outside of school, if we're free to have our own opinion and everything. But the minute we get into that school, all our opinions we don't talk about those. It's like it's pretty much like swearing or making adult jokes or adult comments. It's like when you're outside of school, you can say whatever you want, you can make those jokes and everything, but once you get inside, you can't. It's like even if it's not a rule, I still do it anyways. It's like my job, whether or not it's at a school, it's like one of 3 instances where I do not swear or make adult comments or jokes. There, in front of kids, and also at a church or religious building. So it's like obviously when I'm not in those things, I could pretty much say whatever I want and everything. But when I come to those places, there's none of that. And it definitely makes sense. So I definitely 100% agree with what it says. It's like for this video. I mean it's like this video is not about picking sides or none of that. I'm all about the facts. I'm all about the truth and nothing but the truth. And the truth is, Hamas started the war. Hamas is the one responsible for it. Hamas is the villain, and it needs to be eliminated. It's like if Al Qaeda is bad, if ISIS is bad, and all those organizations are horrible, then Hamas is definitely that case. And we all need to come together to make sure that students now and future generations are taught are not filled with hate. It's like how the things like this can be resolved. It can be done, And how we're going to do it, we're going to make sure that they're taught the right history. Not, it's like based on facts. Like everything we told them, it's got to be from the truth and nothing but the truth. Based on facts and things that have happened. Not based on opinionated, fabricated lies. It's like we can't talk about fake stuff. Like, I mean, it's like by doing all that, we could there definitely will be peace in this world. I mean, like seriously, I do not want to have to visit my dad, my stepmom, and my siblings in Wisconsin, and then arrive there, and they look mentally depressed and devastated because my siblings are either been harassed or hated on, or someone in their school is dealing with harassment and hated on. It's like I don't want to hear them. I mean, I don't want to hear them say. I don't want to hear stories about how they lock themselves in the room and refuse to leave because they're afraid that that the second they go outside, they're gonna get hate, harassed, and attacked. Same thing for the kids on my job. It's like I don't want to reunite with them years later, like high school or college, and be like, it's been a long time. What have you been up to? How is school going? And then have them tell me that it's awful and be a living nightmare. So it's like no child, no teacher, no parent, no one should have to witness hate in school or anywhere. It's like hate has no place. I mean, there is protests, and there's just being a straight up jerk. And the protests now are when it's done wrong. I mean, like, there's far, and then there's too far. These protests have gone too far, and they need to stop. Like, it's like, you want to have an opinion, that's fine. You want to voice your opinion, that's fine. But do not attack people. Do not attack people. Do not harass them. Do not say racist or discriminatory things, and do not make it a life mission to ruin their life and make their life live in hell. So I'm like, it is wrong, it's disgusting, it's criminal, and I will not stand by it. It's like, these people need to take lessons from people such as Martin Luther King Jr., Cesar Chavez, or Nelson Mandela, all of these people, because these are examples of people that do it right. It's like Martin Luther King Jr. during the civil rights. What kind of protests did he have? They were non-violent. They just have people come together and march for equality. Like, no fighting, no insults, no discrimination, nothing. Just peace, nothing but peaceful. Same thing for Cesar Chavez and Nelson Mandela. Like, I remember watching the Cesar Chavez movie. It's like, again, it has to be peaceful. It has to be non-violent. Like, there was one guy that decided to become violent. And what did Cesar Chavez do with that one guy? He kicked him out of the movement. And it definitely makes sense, because when it goes against the mission, it's like it's not needed. Like, another example is with me. It's like back in 2022, I used to work for a Pro ICT. It's like it was a COVID testing company. It was doing well, but then the CEOs decide to rip us off and lie and manipulate us and not give us what we are owed in money and stuff. And when it all ended, I led a protest movement to fight against work injustice and to fight to get what we are owed. It's like we had meetings, we sent letters to the Department of Labor, we had a conference with them, and at the end of it all, we won as we finally got what we were owed. It's like now, no, now, no, now, despite having to be a protest group, we haven't had a single protest. But if we did have protest, if you were to have protests, what kind of protests would I want them to be? Non-violent. It's like no insults, no racism, no discriminatory, no fighting, no violence, no harassment, none of that. We just show up, voice our opinion, and fight for what's right. And if somebody gets out of line, I'm kicking them out. I mean, it's like, and I know some of those protests would be angry at getting arrested and all that stuff, and be like, and it'd be like, they're violating the freedom of speech. Well, there's freedom of speech, and just being a jerk. I mean, it's like, what you're doing is not freedom of speech. You're abusing the power of freedom of speech to silence other people, which violates the First Amendment to the Constitution. And in that amendment, it says that it prevents the government from making laws respecting an establishment of religion, prohibiting the free exercise of religion, or abridging the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, the freedom of assembly, or the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. It's like, nowhere in the Constitution does it say silence the haters, or silence people that disagree with you, or silence people that are in opposition. It's like, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say harass these people for having an opinion. It does not say racist and discriminatory things to people. It does not say ruin the lives of people for having an opinion that you disagree with. And it's like, people have a right to an opinion, just like people have a right to agree or disagree. It's like you agree with it, that's fine. If you disagree with it, that's fine. If you like it, that's fine. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you want to make an argument, as long as you do it right, that's fine. But don't attack people for having an opinion. So I mean, it's like I have many opinions, and some people disagree with me. Like, a lot of you may disagree with me. It's like, some of you might be pro-Israel, some of you might be pro-Palestine. Like, you can disagree with me in this video about everything I've said. I mean, all I'm gonna do is disagree with you. I'm definitely not gonna make it my life mission to find you and do everything to ruin your life. Like, that's not me. I would never do that. And no one should be ruin the lives of people just for having an opinion. It's like, that is not America at all. So I mean, it's like, for example, it's like I think Trump is the worst. Trump is the worst president of all time, but people somehow love this guy. And it's like, I'm gonna question them. I'm gonna question them. I'm gonna disagree with them. I'm gonna argue with them, but I'm not gonna destroy them. I'm not gonna fight them. I'm not gonna make their life live in hell. That's not me. That's not me at all. I'm not a violent person. I'm nothing but a peaceful Samaritan that just wants what's best for this world. And that's what, and peace is what we need. And in order to get peace, we need to stop at the violence. We need to stop at the hate. And if there are people gonna protest, they need to do it right. No violence, no discrimination, just speak your opinion, and that's it. I mean, like, there's some people say asking for ceasefire as if Israel was the one that caused the war. It's like you're not gonna get a ceasefire. Even if there is, it's only going to be on Israel that's going to cease fire. It's like Hamas is not going to cease fire. They don't care. That they're still going to cause chaos. So, I mean, like, seriously, what? It's like Hamas attacked Israel first. It's like, what is Israel supposed to do? Just get on their knees and take defeat? Like, no. It's like, if you go into Israel and attack Israel, of course they're gonna fight back. It's like, you mess with their home, they're gonna mess with your home. I mean, like, that's how things work. I mean, this violence should not happen, but that's how war works. That's why they say war is hell. Like, the last thing we'd want to do is to fight. And if we don't continue to teach the right history and everything, not only would we be getting another world war, but we'd be getting another civil war. And we do not want either. It's like, what? Like, 2 world wars was enough, and 1 civil war was enough. We do not need another. It's like, we don't. And I'm thankful for my siblings. I am thankful for the kids that I'm helping out with at my job, and I'm definitely definitely thankful for scouting, because these kids, they give me hope. They do not make me feel that I'm the last good person that the world has left. They don't make me feel that after my generation it's gonna fall apart. No. Because there is good people. There is still some good people in this world. There's still good things in this world, and we need these people to serve as America's future, and fight for what's right. And I'm thankful for the teachers for teaching them the right history based on facts, and putting their facts over opinions. It's like those are the real teachers, and you should be thanking them every day. I mean, it's like harassment, insults, racism, discrimination, and violence and attacking is wrong. This has to stop, and it has to stop now.